I have got a great trip for you right after Christmas. Something to do with all that new Christmas gear. And that's to jump on the El Patron out of Long Beach sport fishing in beautiful Long Beach, California. They are headed out on December the 27th for either Catalina or Santa Barbara Island. It's your last chance to catch some rockfish. But not only that, big whitefish, sheephead, maybe some halibut. And with all this squid around, you could run into a halibut, white sea bass, or yellowtail. The El Patron is a great, fast boat with a fantastic crew, great boat burgers, and great fishing. And they have this great trip for you, December the 27th. Just go to Long Beach sportfishing.org to book this great trip before it's too late. Remember, it's the last chance for rockfish of the season. It's closed until April after December the 31st. And this promises to be a really great trip. Get on the El Patron December 27th, departing at 7 a.m., returning at 7 p.m. for a really great trip.
Ow, Mike! Look! Oh.
Almost overboard!
He's so big!
Ouch! It bit me!
Look at this! Look at this thing!
How much that weigh?
Dude, this is 6 to 8 pounds.
Is
dude.
it?
For sure.
Wow!
Look at that thing, dude.
Man.
Big female.
Nice
Big
one.
female, dude. That's humongous.
Hey, Mark!
Put it on my head. Ow, Mike! Look!
Almost over. Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. I haven't seen flocks of seagulls like this before down here in a long, long time. I don't know what is going on. They just took off. Hey, it's a foggy morning, as you can see, but we've got a lot to talk about on this lovely Thursday morning as we're nearing Christmas. Tomorrow, we're on board the Island Spirit. That is going to be so much fun. There's still time for you to join us. And you saw what a great trip they have for you on the El Patron on December the 27th, leaving at 7 a.m., fishing and returning at 7 p.m. They may go to Catalina, they may go to Santa Barbara. They're all going to be great trips, and I hope you can get on one of them really soon. We'll talk long-range Baja. We'll cover the local islands. There's still squid everywhere and so much more. Let me set up for the MB. It's coming at you next. Before we get started on today's morning briefing, don't forget, if you're headed to Ensenada, you're going to want to give Zeke Casas a call. Only 15 minutes from downtown, but just check out that spectacular view while in Ensenada, Baja California Norte. And if that garage door is giving you a problem, then you're going to want to call your garage door man. That's Joe Welker. Tax problems? Nobody better than our friend Tim Marquez. Tim's been doing taxes for 35 years. Give the tax man a call today. And for your heating and or air conditioning needs, you're going to want to talk to our dear friend John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. Hey, good Thursday morning, everybody, and welcome to beautiful, foggy, a little bit chilly Southern California. More specifically, I'm standing in Surfside, California, and it's a beautiful morning. I know you think I'm crazy in this fog and kind of cold weather, but it is a beautiful morning, and I count my blessings to be standing here and joining all of you again here this morning. Boy, a lot to talk about, and we're going to get into it all, from long range to local to squid to everything else, including some great trips on the horizons, as I mentioned to you, the 27th on the El Patron, tomorrow on board the Island Spirit, all that and so much more. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh my God, is that really needed here this morning, because it's kind of warming me up and it tastes so good and it's so great to be with you all. If you don't mind, hit that like button. That really helps us a great deal. Share these videos with a friend. And of course, subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Tick that little bell. You'll be notified when there is new content. And you can also follow us over there on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Man, we appreciate the millions of follows we've gotten this past month. We really appreciate all you are doing for Friedman Adventures. It's a very special time of the year as we move up on Christmas, and I couldn't be more proud of the Friedman Adventures family. All of you, you're doing so much to help us send more goods to Mexico, to help little Natalia, Down syndrome little child, 2 years old, living in Mexicali, Mexico. So many of you have come up with a donation to help her with a much needed heart surgery. And I can't thank you enough, and couldn't be more proud to be surrounded by so many wonderful people in the Friedman Adventures family. As I told you, many years ago when we first started the Friedman Adventures family, sounded kind of corny to me and like kind of a gimmick almost. But man, was I wrong about that. This family is real, and we are doing good works together. Mostly you. I'm just your instrument. I get to play Santa Claus. I get to do so many great things, but you're doing all the hard work, all the heavy lifting, all the donations, and I can't thank you enough. From the bottom of my heart, that means so much to me. All right, let's get into it. We'll go south of the border, talk long range. Most of the long range boys are back home again. They've had spectacular fishing for months and months and months. Man, I'll tell you, what a long-range season it has been. I go back to our November trip on board the Independence. We got in right before Thanksgiving. What an 8-day adventure that was. It was absolutely phenomenal. And then we talked to Darren Dohe. He was on that 10-day trip on board the Royal Polaris. Phenomenal fishing. Darren said it was the trip of a lifetime. And I highly recommend you go back and watch Darren in that great interview. He is really a special person. 310 Rod Works on board the Royal Polaris, great one. And I was down at Fisherman's Landing just the other day, and I saw the Royal Star come in and offload a tremendous catch with wahoo and yellowtail and yellowfin tuna and bluefin tuna, just to name a few of the species they caught on that Royal Star trip. And of course, I went down there to hand off a ton of goods to Diego Nunez, a deckhand on board the Royal Star, destined for Mexico, including tons of fishing rods and tackle, going to Cedros Island to the kids who live on the island. Man, really great long-range fishing, and it has been spectacular. Most of the boys are in now for Christmas. They get to spend a little bit of time at home, and then they'll be taking off the day after Christmas. There's a lot of those guys who are on 4 and 5 day trips, perhaps headed to that 300-mile zone where that yellowfin tuna was still hanging out, as well as some bluefin tuna mixed up with it, or perhaps down the Baja Coast for some great yellowtail action, or maybe something different. We've got a little bit of time on our hands. We'll continue to watch that, and if there's any breaking news there, I will definitely let you know. Also, want to check our islands out, and that means Coronado Islands, where it's been mostly rockfish. Again, not many guys fishing that. We'll get occasional boats out there on the weekends, and we do talk to private boaters who've scored a couple of yellows here and there. There's still yellowtail along La Jolla for some private boaters, but mostly rockfish right now. Water's getting pretty darn cool. That is not to say that the yellows won't bite in that cooler water, but it is pretty darn chilly right now, and we're seeing predominantly rockfish. Remember though, rockfish closes December the 31st is the last day, and then it reopens in April. So get out if you can and catch some of those colorful, great-eating rockfish while there's still time. San Clemente Island, we continue to see good rockfish out there for boats that venture out that way. Catalina Island, the El Patron is going on December the 27th. That's going to be a great trip. Leaving at 7 a.m., coming back at 7 p.m. They're going to either fish Catalina Island or Santa Barbara Island. whitefish, lingcod, all kinds of other bottom grabbers. There's been the occasional halibut. And as I mentioned coming into this segment, there's squid everywhere. Along the beaches, at the islands, up in the Channel Islands, all over the place. We have so much squid this year, and I say that because that is a magnet. It attracts predators like sea bass, like halibut. Man, I'll tell you, some big yellows here this winter wouldn't surprise me one bit at all. It sets us up for a magnificent fall. Once again, El Patron going to either one of those two islands December the 27th. At Catalina Island, look out because there could be some good halibut scores. In Santa Barbara, big whitefish and rockfish, big lings at times. It can be spectacular. That's going to be one heck of a trip a week from tomorrow on the El Patron out of Long Beach Sport Fishing, www.longbeachsportfishing.org. Channel Islands, magnificent fishing on the bottom grabbers. It's been a while since we've had a hit on white sea bass and halibut, but some private boaters up that way have been doing pretty darn well. We continue to see some really nice occasional hits of a big sea bass or some big halibut. Predominantly, however, it's rockfish and big lings, and man, have they been biting or what. It has been spectacular up there. You mind if I take a sip of this? Thank you so very much. So, really great fishing. That reminds me, there's still time for you to join us tomorrow morning on the Island Spirit out of Ventura Sport Fishing. Can't wait to see you there. Special early departure at 6 a.m. And we're going to point our bow for Hidden Reef. And there are some big rockfish waiting for you. Whether you want a slow pitch or you want to fish a two-hook gangion, I'm anticipating some really big rockfish and some really fun times. It's going to be a great time to see so many dear friends on that trip. I just can't wait. So we'll see you on board there. VenturaSportFishing.com to book for tomorrow or any other time. Of course, this weekend, you've got Kids Fish Free on Sunday. You got a great Saturday trip lined up for you. It should be a lot of fun. Don't forget, though, Friday morning with Friedman Adventures, a special early departure, 6 a.m. We'll see you on board the Island Spirit in the morning, tomorrow morning, when it should be great. I keep hearing those seagulls. Man, I came down here, this whole beach was just full of gulls, and I haven't seen that for a long time. So maybe something's afoot here. Maybe some more bait moving up on the beach. Maybe there's squid right offshore here. Who really knows? Hey, let's talk about our local kind of bite right now. We'll take you from San Diego right on up to the Channel Islands and mention to you that it's mostly shallow water rockfish, sheephead, whitefish to go along with that, Monte Carlo, native sun, catching an occasional halibut also, and so are other guys like down there at Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. Not all that much bass, but a little bit on the new Del Mar. 32 guys had 31 sand bass yesterday, and then they slammed the sculpin with 160 sculpin, a sheephead, and 85 rockfish. Similar scores up and down the coast. Now, our good friend Benny Florentino was out. Coastal Charters. And man, Benny is such a great fisherman. And they had some really great fishing on the sand bass yesterday. The Reverend Glenn and his bro Chris, they were out there. They had excellent sand and a few calico bass, but really good sand bass fishing, short halibut. Just a fun time to be out on the water. Yesterday, well, it was diametrically opposed to the kind of weather we have here. Yesterday was like a summer-like day. I know I was down at 22nd Street Landing with my wife yesterday. We were loading more toys destined for Mexico, and it was like summertime. It was absolutely beautiful down there. So nice going for Benny Florentino and the Reverend Glenn with his brother Chris. We are loving that indeed. Up there on the Aloha Spirit, 11 nice lingcod yesterday for Pat O'Brien and the guys on the Aloha Spirit. They just keep cranking away and doing a really good job. And as I say, I can't wait until tomorrow. That Hidden Reef area can be spectacular, and I'm assuming it's going to be just that way. Taking a look into Southern California surf, I can almost see it now. There's some good barred perch fishing going on from below the border, and I'm talking Rosarito Beach all the way down to San Quintin, 140 miles down. Really good barred perch up into San Diego. Here, we've seen some good barred perch fishing right here at Surfside down on Anderson Street and Pacific Coast Highway. You'll see that big tower walk out on the beach. There's been some big barred perch taken there. Up there around Long Beach, occasional halibut on the Lucky Craft. Santa Monica Bay, some barred perch. Now, there is the occasional yellowfin croaker and the lost corbina around, but mostly the barred perch. Why? Because they prefer the cooler water. And if you want to get the bait you'll need or the tackle you'll need or get a great Christmas present, Big Fish Bait and Tackle right down there on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. Man, they've got it all for you. Go get a good Christmas or a great Christmas gift for somebody you love, or make sure you stop by and get your bait, because there's still some really good surf fishing going on here in the winter time. All right, my friends, I don't know what to tell you other than it's a beautiful morning here in SoCal. I can't wait to see you tomorrow morning. That's going to be so much fun on board the Island Spirit. Incidentally, we have another trip on December the 27th. I know you're going to have a dilemma on your hands. What to do with that new fishing gear? And my answer is, of course, go fishing on the El Patron December 27th out of Long Beach, or join us on the Island Spirit. Break that new fishing gear in and kick the rockfish season final days off with Friedman Adventures or on board the El Patron. Have a great day, my friends, and I hope to see you really, really soon.